Many are once again claiming that MrBeast has just ruined YouTube, this time with a new announcement that he's recently made regarding one of his websites. But the question is, has he really ruined YouTube, or is this something that was inevitable for the website? The answer will leave your jaw firmly in place, as it's not that shocking at all. Yes to both. But today, we're going to discuss why. It is currently 95 degrees outside. I'm wearing a beanie hat. My air conditioner is off because otherwise you wouldn't be able to hear me speak properly. And the future of the world is completely uncertain and everything is spiraling. Let's talk about MrBeast. So it's been about 8 or 9 months since I've last discussed MrBeast. At that point, there was a lot going on regarding the biggest creator on YouTube. But today we're talking about something entirely unrelated to everything that happened last year. Over the years, YouTube has definitely changed, and a lot of people either love or very much dislike creators like MrBeast, and people have talked about the Beastification of YouTube, or the MrBeastification of YouTube, where a lot of people copy his style of content. So to describe the MrBeastification of YouTube, or what people call that style of content, most people that are copying his content, or at least his thumbnails and whatnot, are trying to cater to a similar audience to him, and he has a very large audience for not only having a large production value and a huge crew, but also because of the niche he is in and the algorithm he is in, which caters to a younger demographic, which by the way is why nothing from last year and nothing from this will likely destroy his career in any way. To this day, his videos still get hundreds of millions of views. His target audience is mostly kids and they don't care. But many other creators on YouTube, regardless of whether or not they like this type of content, have been extremely frustrated over the past few days since MrBeast has recently announced to his audience through Twitter or X and through his website viewstats.com that they have launched AI-generated thumbnails, which you can sign up for the low price of $80 a month to have the access to AI generate your own YouTube thumbnails. This isn't like you're using websites to add a filter or to touch up a blurry image. This is you're typing in information and it spits out an image the way you would ChatGPT, but exclusively for YouTube thumbnails. And people are very frustrated by this because obviously that means this algorithm, this AI, had been trained off of popular YouTube videos, viral videos, and thumbnails of people who spent a lot of time and effort into making them, and there are many content creators out there who hire people to make thumbnails for them. Therefore, this could threaten a lot of jobs. So a lot of creators on YouTube use tools to help them succeed with their creation of videos. There's TubeBuddy and vidIQ. There's a few others out there that I'm pretty sure as well. And MrBeast decided to create his own version of that, and it's called ViewStats. For the most part, these things can be used positively to help YouTubers grow and succeed with their channels. And I don't hate that idea. In fact, I still use programs like TubeBuddy now and again to see how my own videos are ranking. A lot of creators use programs like this, and they do work. They're very useful. Where the problem lies, however, is with his program ViewStats, he is adding AI features, and these features are going to be able to create and generate thumbnails for YouTube videos with just typing it in just the way you could with like ChatGPT, I guess. This has greatly backfired on him, and it's not caused just a lot of people being upset with him, but a lot of worry for the future of YouTube, because again, MrBeast is the face of YouTube. On June 21st, 2025, MrBeast tweeted, "ViewStats just dropped AI thumbnails, and it takes the guesswork out of what thumbnails will perform. Just prompt what you're looking for, and it will generate a data-backed viral thumbnail." Right off the bat, this did not go well. A lot of people were upset with just the tweet alone without seeing the video that was on the website, which is still up, by the way. But before we even get into that, I have some questions regarding this tweet itself. I want to know what magical technology is being used to AI generate images that are claiming to get virality. I can see it copying the thumbnails of other viral videos, but how can you accurately predict without a shadow of a doubt that the thumbnail that this AI tool is going to cook up is going to cause your video to go viral? If that were the case, why are you still doing A and B testing on your videos? If you don't know, first of all, I don't know why I didn't say this earlier. If you don't know what a thumbnail is, it's the image you see under a YouTube video title. It's basically the poster for your video. A and B testing is when some people will take a thumbnail and they'll create a slightly different or a very different version of it, and they will see which one performs better. In fact, I believe YouTube integrated a tool to do this, and it just basically shows which one's performing better, which one people are clicking on. It could be as simple as the color of something in the background being changed, or something as involved as having two completely different images. And his program offers A and B testing in it as well. Why would that be needed? He seems like he's selling the idea that, oh, you're really gonna go viral if you get this AI generative program to make these AI thumbnails. People are gonna click on your videos more. It seems like quite the opposite, at least according to the replies in this. I don't know, maybe his young audience won't care or be able to tell the difference. So as of June 26, 2025, around 10 o'clock p.m., the website has finally changed, but I did check it around 3 o'clock this morning because I stay up really late. So at some point throughout today, the 26th, as the time I'm recording this part, it must have finally changed, but that is still 5 days of it being up and active after addressing everything before taking it down.
There's a new way to make professional looking viral thumbnails with zero Photoshop experience. And the best part is, this new method works in every niche. Whether you do gaming, cooking, beauty, this works for all of them. From creating custom results from any channel to literally being able to put your face on a thumbnail, it literally feels like cheating.
First of all, I cannot believe he actually says it literally feels like cheating. How is it not cheating? Listen, I'm not here to gatekeep on how to be a YouTuber. There's several different niches and styles, and I'm not going to tell you how to do whatever it is that you want to do. But when it comes to making a thumbnail, that's part of creating content. It always has been. Whether it's having somebody do it for you and you pay them, or you create the thumbnail yourself, or even just let YouTube decide the thumbnail for you, which is how it used to be. And you never used to be able to create your own thumbnail. You used to have to pick between one of 3 images generated from your YouTube video. That was way back in the day. In many ways, YouTube can be as easy or as difficult as you want to make it, depending on your expectations and depending on your goals, but it should never get to a point where you need to resort to typing a prompt into AI to get a generated thumbnail that steals from other people's thumbnails because the technology used is geared towards studying specifically YouTube thumbnails. So MrBeast, the reason why it might feel like cheating is because it definitely sounds like cheating. It's cheating in the same way that it's cheating when people use ChatGPT to AI generate artwork and then they claim it as their own artwork and try to pretend that they're an artist online. In my opinion, it's also just as embarrassing. But let's go back for a second because there's something else he said that I find extremely interesting. It's very hypocritical on his end as well, because what really gets me is that just a couple years ago, I think it was a couple years ago, he made a tweet complaining that another channel had taken his thumbnails and just switched the face to somebody else's face for their thumbnail, and that is literally what he promoted in this new AI program.
And custom results from any channel to literally being able to put your face on a thumbnail.
So on February 19th, 2021, MrBeast wrote a tweet saying, "The largest channel in Russia just takes my thumbnails and photoshops his face onto mine." And then he shows a compilation of images of his thumbnails next to another channel, just changing the faces, literally doing exactly what he is promoting his new AI program can do for you. That just is blatant hypocrisy if I've ever seen it in my life. But of course, things get significantly worse whenever we talk about anything, including this, which is the fact that MrBeast adds in something somehow worse than just adding in AI. He goes into detail about how you can type in a specific channel and get quote-unquote inspiration for a thumbnail for your videos.
This is the home of the AI tool where you can type in any channel on all of YouTube and it'll use it as inspiration for the thumbnail it's generating. So for example, let's say you're MrBeast. You would just type in MrBeast here. Now it's gonna look at all my recent videos and get inspiration from them. And for the prompt, I'm gonna type in stranded on a volcano. And there you go, we now have a thumbnail with me dangling on the side of a volcano. This is perfect for inspiration, and if you do a couple iterations with the system, this is how you can literally generate generate your thumbnails going forward.
Listen, I know my eyes are pretty messed up, but to me, that does not look like MrBeast on the right. It looks like a combination of MrBeast and the guy's face on the left. It doesn't look exactly like MrBeast, and if people are going to start using this tool and trying to make it look like themselves, I don't think it's going to do that good of a job if this is what he's promoting. But focusing on the bigger issue at hand being the fact that he's literally showing that the program can go into anybody's YouTube channel and generate a thumbnail that looks exactly like a thumbnail that person had made, but tailored to somebody else's YouTube channel, blatantly stealing that thumbnail's artwork and ideas. Yeah, that's a really big problem, and this is something that he addresses, which we will get into later on, but the fact that this was even a thought to begin with is insane to me. How could somebody think that this is a good idea and that people will be positively receptive to this? He then goes on to explain how you don't just have to steal from other YouTubers' thumbnails to get inspiration. You could just type something into this text box here to generate an AI image, exactly like ChatGPT in my opinion, just tailored to a thumbnail ratio, I suppose.
Now let's say you don't want to take inspiration from a YouTube channel, you don't have to. As you can see here, I have a very descriptive prompt describing a Minecraft block that is glowing rainbow colors and vibrant Minecraft grass with trees in the background with no YouTube inspiration. So now let's hit generate, and I think you're gonna be impressed with what this comes up with. I have not altered this in any way. Look at this thumbnail it came up with. That is actually insane. All from one single prompt and no inspiration from any other channel.
I'm actually finding it very frustrating that he's making it a bragging point that you don't have to use AI to steal other people's thumbnail ideas. That's a talking point in this promotional video.
You can type literally anything you want and it will generate a thumbnail for you in a style that will make a viral YouTube video.
I noticed his wording is really careful there. He said it's in the style of a viral video. He doesn't say in this video promotion that your video will go viral like he implied in the tweet, but it's very close. And just in case you're way too lazy to type out a few sentences describing what you want this AI device to spit out for you, you could just copy and paste the URL of a YouTube video and then use that thumbnail for inspiration, and definitely not just stealing the thumbnail idea and then tell it what to change. Yeah, you heard that correctly. In case it's too much trouble for you to type in a few sentences, you can copy and paste a picture and just tell it to change it up a little bit.
And step 3, to show you how all out we went on this AI thumbnail tool, you can also copy a URL from any YouTube video. We'll just paste this one I have here. And in the prompt box, just tell it what to change to the thumbnail. To demonstrate, I have this F1 thumbnail with an F1 car. And so in the prompt, I'm just gonna simply type in, change F1 car to minivan. That is all I'm typing in. I'm gonna hit generate. Let's see what it produces. And boom, it's done. I'm not even joking. Look, it swapped out the F1 race car for a minivan.
I'm not gonna lie, bro, that looks like the quality of an iPhone emoji.
That was it. I just typed in a prompt and it swapped it. This is crazy.
And again, he goes more in depth with the details of this face swapping tool.
And if you really like the thumbnail you're generating, but not the face on it, don't worry, we have this face swap tool that you can click, upload a face you do like, and it will instantly swap it onto the thumbnail. To show you how simple this is, I'm gonna take a photo of my face. Okay, I'm now gonna hit face swap and take the thumbnail from this to this automatically.
You called out a YouTube channel for doing the same thing just a few years ago, man. This is the thing, I've seen a lot of people say MrBeast made a huge mistake with this. In my opinion, this was a huge choice. He sat down, filmed this whole video knowing that happened in the past, unless maybe he forgot, but that would not be something I would forget, or most people would. So how could you consciously be thinking about that and then promoting this AI device that is going to do the same exact thing you were complaining about a couple years ago, but doing so in mass quantities while people are paying you for it? How did you get all the way to this point and not see the issue? But the scariest part about this entire video is what he says here.
I could go on and on, but this is the future of YouTube thumbnails. No more complicated Photoshop and having to get a PhD in how to edit things and figure out what 1,000 buttons do. Now, you can literally just type into a prompt what you want and it'll give it to you.
He says that this is the future of YouTube. But first, really quick, did you know that in the year of 2021, the National Safety Council reported that over 36,000 car accidents would happen every single day? In many cases, those who have gotten in accidents would have to stress over dealing with the cost of treatments for their injuries. But this is where Morgan & Morgan can step in and make things easier for you if you decide to become their client. Morgan & Morgan is America's largest injury law firm with over 1,000 attorneys across all 50 states. And when dealing with cases, Morgan & Morgan doesn't settle for lowball offers. In fact, Morgan & Morgan has achieved significant verdicts for victims with life-altering injuries. This includes over $12 million in Florida, which is 34 times the highest insurance offer, and $26 million in Philly, which is 40 times the highest insurance offer. The best part, you don't have to pay unless you win your case. You heard that correctly. You don't have to worry about any upfront charges. If you've ever gotten seriously hurt, your injuries could be worth millions, and you're just a few easy clicks away from potentially changing your life. You can start your claim now with Morgan & Morgan at forthepeople.com/Mimi, or you can check my link in the description below. Thank you so much to Morgan & Morgan for sponsoring another video on this channel, and with that being said, let's get back into today's topic. He's saying that this is what the future of YouTube is going to be like, and he's not wrong, by the way. Regardless of whether or not he shared this, in a way, YouTube's already headed in this direction along with several other websites regarding AI. You might not be able to generate AI thumbnails, but they have actively mentioned the integration of AI throughout the past year or so on this platform. Hopefully there is a limit though, because when you upload a video to YouTube, you have to check off boxes if you have AI generated content in that video, and I'm pretty sure they have reprimanded channels that are just completely AI. So I hope that they stay on track with this, but I cannot see how YouTube's poster child, the biggest creator on this platform basically, is promoting something like this if YouTube wasn't okay with it. And if they aren't okay with it, that's something that I feel like they probably should address in some way, because again, this is their biggest creator. And I'm not trying to say anybody should be reprimanded or anything like that. It's just something that would be appreciated by other creators that use this website to say, hey, we're not going to push this on people. This isn't the future of YouTube, if it actually isn't, because it's making a lot of people worried now. Luckily, MrBeast himself had come out and made a statement regarding all of this after receiving a lot of backlash. So on this same day, after a lot of backlash had taken place, a user named Eric Point Crow had made a post stating, "Had a chat with MrBeast about his AI thumbnail creation tool. While I'm uncertain what will be happening moving forward, I voiced my thoughts directly to him. Great idea to want to make content creation more accessible, but this isn't remotely the solution to that and actually fundamentally hurts creator as a whole." Just mentioning because I think it's important to note that he reached out even though we still largely disagree, leaving everything up to discourage this still, and I'll count this hopefully as my bookend to the saga. Cheers. MrBeast responded stating, "I appreciate all the feedback. I love the YouTube community more than anyone can even remotely comprehend. Already working on changes like face swap should only be used to swap your face on your thumbnail, obviously not others. And overall, I'll build this more in a way to be inspiration for artists / a tool they can use and not replace them." Very good feedback. That doesn't actually make sense with everything he had shown in this promotional video, and I also don't like that this tweet was made, but that promotional video is still up with everything we just went over. I honestly think that this is just a generic response. That's just my opinion. Maybe he will actually work on things to make it so that people don't have to worry for their future as creators. Luckily, there has been a noticeable amount of pushback that shows not just MrBeast, but the public in general that people are unhappy with this and they want authenticity. But a lot of people I see feel the same way, that they don't want this type of content, that they fear that this type of content is going to take over. I think it will, honestly. I think it will, not just with MrBeast, not just with YouTube, but with everything. It's just gone septic at this point, and it's just going to get worse. But he continues, "My goal with view stats is to build tools to level the playing field between people like me with 300 employees and new creators that can't afford a small army. Listen, I am a YouTuber that has one person working for me, myself. I do the filming, I do the editing, I do the script writing, I do the recording from start to finish. I can understand deeply how stressful it can be to want to have a specific amount of content made in a short amount of time, and I understand the pressure that it could have on someone to feel like they're competing with somebody who does have a team working with them. Eventually, I've mentioned this before, I would like to have a few people hired and working along with me to make these videos better, but for right now, that's just not something I'm doing, and I totally understand the stress that comes with that. That being said, this is not a solution. This is not something that is going to help people. Similar to what was stated in the previous tweet, this is something that could totally wreck the entire YouTube ecosystem if this becomes the future of YouTube. It's not only cheap and lazy, but it's genuinely scary, because what it actually does is, instead of laying the playing field with people like you, MrBeast, for other creators, it makes it 10 times harder, because now not only are they competing with other people who have teams working with them and employees working for them to create content, but now they're also competing with AI content. That's just one example of how it could wreck the ecosystem. Another way is that people who do have teams might just start letting people go if they have people working on their thumbnails and just using the AI thumbnail feature instead. Another YouTuber, Some Ordinary Gamers, actually made a tweet that I think is very interesting and agree with, and he states, if you want to do something cool for view stats, maybe try having a system where if creators like a certain thumbnail, we can easily interact with the artist, who you guys can verify and then commission. The same thing with editors. It would cut down headaches if we had a platform for hiring. Now, the thing is, as another creator responded, known as Roberto Blake, who is like a YouTube guru, he actually says, it exists and it's called YouTube Jobs. Also, the jobs board on the Publish Press. And I have also seen and heard of other forms of media that you can hire people on and network with people and get employees. But I do agree that the idea would be cool to have some feature like that implemented instead of using AI, because MrBeast is such a huge YouTuber, and part of his audience, despite the majority of it being kids, part of his audience are YouTube entrepreneurs. He is in the niche of like YouTube gurus, and there are a good portion of people that follow him for YouTube advice. So with that in mind, it actually wouldn't be the worst idea to have some sort of feature where on his view stats website, he could have a thing where people can apply through that to work for other YouTubers and they can network in a way. Or even if YouTube itself implemented some sort of thing like that, because they implement a ton of other things on the back end, I'm sure it would be attainable for them to do something like that, and that could actually help a lot of people with recognition and growth. But anyway, the reason I mention all of this is because MrBeast actually replied with, not a bad idea. If enough artists would be down to sign up, I could basically build a funnel for them to find thumbnail work. So what MrBeast is saying here is that he's actually open to the idea of, if enough people are interested in this, he could absolutely make a feature on the website where people could literally do just what we were talking about, find work on the website and be employed by YouTubers and network. Ideally, that would be 10 times better than using AI to generate slap thumbnails. People have said for years now that AI is taking the jobs of artists and eventually will take the jobs of several other different categories. It's not even just going to be people on YouTube. It could be your day-to-day job if it hasn't already been. I've literally seen, when I went to go get an ultrasound a couple months ago, I remember seeing a advertisement on like a TV screen in the place where I was getting it done. And they were advertising, I forget for what type of scan, it wasn't the ultrasound that I was getting done, but it was like an AI assistance to help diagnose things in addition to the radiologist. And this was, again, not for ultrasounds. I think it might have been for MRIs or something, or for specific type of imaging. On one hand, that sounds like it could be really interesting and cool, because you have this tool that can help trained professionals diagnose somebody with something that could have gone missed for years. But the double-edged sword is that, could it potentially eventually take over the role of the radiologist's entire job and put a radiologist out of work? If you are in the radiologist field, let me know in the comments down below, because I really want to know if you have heard about this or if you have any thoughts on this, because when I saw that, I was like intrigued, but also, you know, there's that worry. It's at a point where AI is inescapable. It really is. YouTube itself uses AI for its algorithms and search engines without you even uploading a video onto YouTube. If you are just somebody who watches content. There is an algorithm in place tailored to your viewing activity. When you get a phone now, mine's an older version, but I believe the newer iPhones, I don't know if Android's doing it or if they plan to, but I know the new iPhones have AI just built right into it. And I believe also ChatGPT, if I'm correct. When you use Instagram, Facebook, I think even TikTok, there was some sort of, maybe it was Facebook? No, it was Google. It was Google where you can literally type something out and like it'll just have a whole list to the left of AI stuff. Now, originally you can Google search something and it'll give you a list, which I learned is just an AI answer before you get to the websites underneath. They have updated that over the past couple months, I believe, but now I've noticed that there's a tab where you can just do AI results. It's completely taken over the internet. It's completely taken over all forms of media, and if it hasn't completely taken over it yet, it will. We have just seen also the release of these AI videos with sound now, where entertainment as you know it is going to be nothing but brain rot slop garbage in the next, I'd give it maybe 2 to 3 months. Let's get back to MrBeast. People are very upset with him, obviously, because not only are people going to be worried now that their jobs as thumbnail artists could be taken away, but also just in general, this sets a precedent that we're headed in a direction where everything else is. It's not just the websites, it's not just the cell phones, it's not just the technology. It's going to be the creations on these websites that are going to be infected with it. And first it was just AI images, but it is going to turn into AI generated thumbnails. It's already turned into AI generated videos. This is something that is blatantly stealing other people's content. This is just copy pasting and putting it right in and just changing someone's face or generating something the way that ChatGPT would. Also, by the way, Jacksepticeye had a lot to say about this as well. His YouTube channel was like put in the background of this and it pissed him off, rightfully so. I would be really angry as well. That is almost like implying that all of these channels endorse this when they might not even have been asked. What the actual and he used my logo in the promotion for it too. I hate what this platform is turning into. AI. Another YouTuber, Dan TDM, posted, using AI in creativity makes zero sense to me. People who use it to replace creatives don't have a creative bone in their body. Learn to make something yourself and be proud of it. FAI. I find it weird that out of all of the YouTubers that MrBeast could have chosen, or his editors could have, that they actually chose Jacksepticeye because they have had a past of not getting along. Jacksepticeye has been on record before claiming that MrBeast had ruined YouTube a year or so ago. So to add him into this now, I feel like, what other reaction were you expecting? And it's not like Jack had just made a comment and MrBeast didn't see it. MrBeast responded to it. A while back, Jacksepticeye had done a lie detector test and somebody asked him about his thoughts on MrBeast, and this is what he had to say.
Now Jack, a completely unrelated question. Do you like MrBeast? No. Jack, do you think MrBeast ruined YouTube? Yes. Now, in all honesty, Jack, why? Because it became more about views, money, and popularity than it did about having fun. You just don't think he had fun playing Squid Games? You don't think he had fun riding on yachts? Building wells in Africa? I don't know. If he had fun doing those videos, they'd be longer. We'd see the fun.
Ooh. Jimmy, MrBeast, didn't take too kindly to this as he replied with, "So I quote-unquote ruined YouTube because I didn't buy a mansion and sports cars and instead reinvested my money into making content and focused on doing good and inspiring kids to help people? Quote, if he had fun, the videos would be longer. What does that even mean, LOL? You think I'd give up every hour of my life for 14 years if I didn't have fun? This clip is insanely disrespectful in my opinion, and obviously there is so much I could say about his content, but I'll just take the punches and be the bigger man. Sigh. Back then, regardless of whose side you were on in this situation, it is clear that Jimmy was not happy hearing about the criticisms that Jacksepticeye had about him. And back when this happened, it was a pretty big story. So even though I'm sure he probably had somebody edit this video for him and maybe he didn't see the clip with Jacksepticeye's profile picture in the background, but you would think that even his editors or somebody who created this clip should be aware that this would be a really big mistake to add this creator in it, because I highly doubt that after all of that, Jack gave permission to use his image in something like this, especially with the response he had given. And don't get it twisted, it would be one thing if you're adding somebody's picture, if you're talking about them in like a commentary styled fashion. He was using Jacksepticeye's image to endorse this program. At least that's what I would take away from this. Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments down below. So on TikTok, I've noticed a lot of videos have been popping up because, as I mentioned, there is this new AI video feature where AI now can have sound and voices auto-generated into the video, where before it was just you could only generate soundless moving picture, which, by the way, for it to evolve that fast from like about a year ago is wild. But there are videos that have been popping up on TikTok where people are posting AI generated skits, comedy skits. So it's not just on YouTube, it's on TikTok, it's everywhere, and maybe like at least half of the content you consume will eventually be AI, and it may even get to a point where you don't even realize it. And that's scary. Like I said earlier on in this video, I don't think it's going to just be limited to online spaces. I think that this is eventually going to affect people's day-to-day life in one way or another. Like I mentioned earlier, when it comes to medical stuff, I could see it definitely playing a part there, along with other jobs and other things. And it's just something that I think we're beyond a point of really being able to stop. But what makes a lot of people really upset with MrBeast specifically is that he isn't just a YouTuber anymore, but he started as a YouTuber. He is somebody who advertises himself as somebody who wants to see other YouTubers grow, and this is just going to hurt people, I feel, more than help people. It may help a few channels here and there, but eventually you're also going to get to a point where all these thumbnails are going to look exactly the same because they're going to be generated the same, and you're going to have to pick out which one's real. Thank you so much if you made it all the way to the end of this video. I know this wasn't as long or serious as some of the topics we cover on this channel, but I do appreciate you being here, and I do appreciate everybody supporting me over on Patreon and through YouTube memberships. With that being said, I will see you in the next video where we talk about something much crazier.